Alrighty, folks, what are we doing today? Well, we got our aluminum. We have a radiator that's not really working. So the plan today, I'm not going to get too far ahead of myself. I want to do, just do the rad, see if we can get that thing all sorted out, and then I'll move on. I don't want to make too many plans because I end up not getting as far as I want. So anywho, I've always patched and done rads. This is kind of the first time I'm going to try to like weld onto the tank and things like that. So the rad's got to go here. I probably have to build some new, like some mounts, because we're going to have to tilt the rad out a little bit. Because right now it sits about there, but it's going to need to stick out. We'll have to shave the snout a bit to fit that fan on, because it's so tight in there. What I was waiting for was like this. I'm going to end up putting this into the tank. We'll probably kind of go sideways here, just so these two things can kind of like, you know, doesn't really matter where I put it. Honestly, I could probably here. I just feel I'll do it in the center more because I can get it higher in the tank. I guess in the big picture, like if I have a catch can, this thing should draw fluid in to top up the tank. If my understanding is right, as it needs it, it'll kind of bring some more fluid in. But anyways, we'll figure this part out later. For now, I want to just do the top of the tank. I was staring at it the other night and I'm realizing I can see the aluminum's on the inside, so I guess this weld was here, but the tank in actuality was inside, like, and then you just had a nice easy weld on the outside. You weren't trying to butt weld it. So I don't know, I might go through here, try to bust this weld off, or like grind through it, that way I can actually pop the lid off, like this upper part, and just make my life easier come welding. So I have my top that I made, it's over here, and my plan's going to be to basically, I think this is 16 gauge aluminum, so I plan to just trace out my lid, and I can bring it over to my stomp shear over there. We can kind of stomp it and do our business there. So I want to do two halves, and then whatever the center is going to be, we'll just kind of get that happening. Part of me almost, like, this top was so small, I was like, oh, I can almost fulfill my little dream of putting that in there, but you can just imagine how ugly it's really going to look with a cap like that sticking through here. So even if I made a topper for it, it's just not going to look good. So I'll make like a fake cap like I did on my Model A, my pickup. So yeah, the plan, like, this thing did sit here, but yeah, I don't know, why wouldn't I be able to do that? Make my life even easier yet. I think my problem I have in my head is this tank's going to be this tall and it won't be full, but like it should catch. Unless it fits under the hood. That's my big thing. I think I have to go here so it fits under my hood, but I don't know. We'll figure that out in a bit here. Yeah. So the other things I have to do are here, because my hood's going to come off to the side. I'll have to figure out how to take these off and put some 90s on it so I can do my heaters that way. We have a catch can. Somehow we'll have to have like I have a catch can for the motor. This thing will have to go somewhere at some point, and which is small, so that's not a big deal, but I'll also need one for some coolant, so we'll figure that out. I think this rad originally didn't even have it was just a closed, it must have had like a big tank that would suck and do its thing. So again, if I do that with this cap, I at least have somewhere to fill, but it should be able to draw fluid in and kind of fill itself out, I hope. Anyways, with all that rambling said, pretty much just going to get started, and we'll trace this out and start shearing it up, and then we can like weld this thing together and hopefully have a rad and be one step closer to actually being able to fire this thing up. Well, I'm going to do wiring and a few other things, but close. We're getting there. Okie doke. So, here's a rad. These are our new tank tops. I don't know, I guess. For some reason this feels thicker, but maybe not. It's made out of the same stuff. Tank tops are a little big, but I feel like we can just clean this edge, sink this stuff in here and weld it and call it a day. Should be okay. What I'm gonna do is just tack these on top. And I did make them 2 different sizes. And that is because I'm gonna want it to, oh wait. Whatever. We'll make it work. One side of the rad's actually gonna be smaller because of where the rad nose is out. Anyways, I'm gonna clean up into here, get this edge done. I was gonna grind this out, but I think it'll just work fine if I just hook to this edge on the tank and just buzz it that way. I'll have to do a whole bunch of tacks, but I'm gonna grind this, clean it. I don't know what to do here other than just fill it with weld, I guess. I don't know. All right, I haven't even attempted to try to figure out my laser welder, so nor do I have like a spool of aluminum wire to put in there. So anyways, I got this, I don't know, I think as clean as I can get. I am going to wipe it down with some acetone and everything else, and then, well, we'll start trying to plug some pieces onto here. At least that'll be the plan. Should have cut this one a little different, that it went down like that, but that's okay. I can fill it. It'll be fine. Anyways, make sure I got the right one. Okay, because that's the back of the tank. All right, well, let's get started here. All right, see how this looks. We will just poke these in place, have a look-see. Kind of do my fan thing so everything kind of dangles in the right area. Need to get the top and the bottoms right here. So there is going to be some trimmage happening down here because I think when the rad's on, or the grill shell, I can go a little more. So you know what, it's pretty close. Like I might be okay with the motor and my grill. We'll see, like this is touching and I kind of go a little bit. Anyways, close enough. So my plan is gonna be, I think, like this cap closes, everything's good. I want this as close to the top of the rad as I can, but we're just gonna have a hose kind of going boop around there. So that should be pretty easy, as long as I keep this thing semi below. I think if we cut a weird angle, if I can remember what that means, I want that to go at that angle. I'm gonna have to test fit this and see if that works. Below, I don't know yet what I'm doing down here because this thing, you know, it don't work. I do have this, so I can cut this apart and I can kind of do maybe something like that on it so it kind of doesn't point straight out. Because this one, the outie out is like over here, so we're gonna go with this one. We'll probably cut the end of it off. Give it quite the twist so it points that way. And then maybe all I need is just a nub sticking out of here, but as long as I can get this one to start doing the angle that I want, would be great. Anyway, first things first, I'm gonna work on this upper part and then I'm gonna test fit it again. I think once I get the top part cut in where I want, I want to cut these back and kind of set it up in here, like trim this thing back, set it up as an angle inside, and then I guess we'll weld a flange onto here that we can bolt onto this thing, both sides. So I wanted to basically set this angle just to give me some breathing room in here. I was gonna make a shroud on here, but I don't know, this rad cover is pretty good. I guess we'd have to see how it goes, if I'm gonna want to change that or not, but yeah. Yep. Trying to fit so much junk. Oh yeah, and then when my steam porty thing happens here, like a lot of time I would drill and just tap it and just run that hose into the water pump, but because I'm doing so much welding on the rad, I might just, this is where that little out part was, I might just keep filling this up with weld, grind it, and then I'll drill and tap it, and then I can put just a regular fitting in there, so I can just run a hose up with this and then just poke it into there to do that steam port that these LSs have. So yeah, and then eventually I'm gonna have to figure out how to pull these bungs out and drill and tap it so I can put like a regular, like a 90 on it. That way I can, because I don't think it's gonna have room for a hose with my hood because it's so darn close. I don't think like a 90 is gonna cut it. This hose maybe, but it's just, it's so close. I may have to pull these out and like kind of thread in a 90-degree thing that I can kind of run to a heater when I do that. Anyways, first things first, let's at least get this top part. Well, I want to get the top part fitting so that I can see that that's in the right zone, and then we'll start working on everything else. All right, survey says need a hole about that size, roughly. And then, well, they usually end up being bigger than I start. I know it wants to start here. Cool, that's easy. Get all of our mess out of there. Oh, okay, perfect. Perfect. There are no breathing holes in here anymore. Well, that cut really weird. Survey says, oh, I need this, no, it needs to be like that.
As long as I can get around and weld everything, should be okay. All right, let's clean that up a bit. Give it a shot. TIG welder's getting the workout today. It's one thing I've learned with aluminum. Clean, 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 clean. If you don't clean it, you're gonna have a bad time. Like I did down here. I tried to do that without cleaning it. Acetone is your friend. Just gonna make sure I got this all cleaned out in here. Let's get a tack on this, and then we'll see how it fits. All right, do a little bit of weld, not too much. I want to make sure everything's good. All right, my good old dab. I'm very good at screwing that up. But we can test this and see how, if I'm in the zone where I want it to be. I feel that looks right, but I bet you it's too dang tall. Okay. Survey says, well, that means absolutely nothing unless my grill shell's on. This is how I've test fitted everything, so, oh, right away. I think it's got to go down a bit. That is hot. Very, very hot. Oh, come on. We need you to stay put. I feel it's good, but it should come over more, but I want to make sure I can weld this darn thing. And, darn it, I got to make sure I can get a cap on it. That'll be a whole other problem. I mean, I can notch this a bit, but I can't get a cap on. I don't care if I have to do something interesting there. It's just... Let's pretend this is everything it's supposed to be. The one is there. The one is there. Okay. We can do this. Perfect. It's not glorious, but okay. Well, I want to fully weld that so I don't bump it. So I'm going to finish welding this, and then, I don't know what I want to do. I want to cut some ears for the side to hold the rad. These I have to trim. They're a little bit too long now. These things that I cut long before. So basically I'll take a Sharpie, we'll kind of shorten everything up a bit, but I'll punch a couple holes, at least 4 holes, that we can put some riv zerks in there and bolt this thing together properly. All right. Gotta finish welding this thing up. Well, we are definitely making progress. It's slow.
I didn't dip it too bad. My welds still look ugly, but I'd like to say that was my weld, but it's more the uglier one. Pretty confident in it, but I still got to do a pressure test to make sure it's all good, but I haven't done the lower part yet. We got the sides on. I got to clean that up. So far, everything's working pretty good. I ended up, I guess it worked out a little easier than I thought. I just moved these tabs from the inside out. That way I can just kind of lay the rad against it. We'll drill a couple holes. We'll be able to bolt the rad on and done. That'll be good. Have to fully weld this yet and shave up the edge, so I got to do that. But once I get that done, then we're going to work on like this portion. And like I say, I'll probably just tear this thing apart and we'll cut the snout off. And like they usually go on, and I just turn it and I put the bolts in and I just forget about it, and it just works. I don't know. Usually use these 10 mil and it has a shoulder and it catches it. In the past I've welded it up and done stuff, but you know, I wouldn't do it for somebody else, but I've done it on my own junk and it just works. I haven't had a problem, and I don't know how many cars I've done it on now. So essentially this is where it's supposed to bolt onto, and you can kind of just go boop, just move it, and the bolt just clears and kind of does its thing. So like I say, in the past I've welded it up, built it up, and then done stuff, but I don't know. Never seen an issue for it. So the rad's there. Yeah, we'll see where it goes, because maybe I can go a little bit of a different angle, but we're gonna just shoot it, like just make it do a hard turn back, and then that way I can just have a stubby little outlet on that rad, and like we're just gonna need like 8 inches of hose to do the whole plumbing. I mean, hopefully the motor doesn't move too much, because there's really going to be not a lot of give in the hoses then when I think about it. Anyways, yeah, that's that. I guess the only thing left to do is pull off those beams, weld them up, clean that up, and then get this stuff drilled. And then, like I say, I think it's just literally going to be just a stubby little snub like this thing didn't really have. Where did it go? Anyways, I have just a stubby little piece I'll put onto there that I can connect 2 hoses, and hopefully this thing's good to go. Then we'll basically have to plug everything up, put some pressure in it, make sure nothing leaks, and then one thing less to do.
All right, so now we test. Hopefully, this works. I don't know if that was a good judgment. Let's do that. Do it that way. So pretty much just block everything. I'm just gonna do it with this tape. If I blow it out, then so be it. But you know, a rad's only technically got 15 pounds. I don't know what that cap is rated at. Cool, doesn't even say. So I don't even know. But we'll come up with a magic number here shortly. Got my little pressure doodad. Perfect. So we got that. This does have a manifold thing, but I'm cool just doing the old school here, which is, yeah. According to this, 15 is like the danger zone. I think my stuff is leaking everywhere here. I don't know why. That or I have a really big leak in the rat. I feel it's leaking like somewhere there. All right, we might try the full pressure system that it's got going on here. How the heck does this work? I gotta make sure I know how this works first before I hook it up. Something's leaking, and I don't know what. This is very confusing. You can tell I've used this lots. I shall continue with my pump-a-thon, and hopefully this thing holds some pressure. Where's it leaking? Everywhere? I don't get it. Oh, boo. Boo. It is leaking everywhere. Oh my goodness. This is terrible. This is definitely not working as well as my fuel tank did. Like, look at that. Golly. Everywhere. Holy. That's very uncool, man. All right. Well, I guess I'm not putting away my TIG welder just yet. Darn it. You know, even places I didn't think it would, but I'm gonna have to go over this with a fine-tooth comb, and we'll check it again after. Hopefully. I won't bore you with all the welding, but I'm basically gonna go over and eyeball anything that I question, because right here, and right where I thought I did good, but now I can see a spot, which is just miserable to get at. Golly. All right. Oh well. Okay. Darn it. Peel this tape off because I feel it's going to get melted on there. But yeah, we're just gonna go check this over. I'm very comfortable with this one. Man, that's like probably my best weld yet. Here, not so much. But anyways, like I said, I'm gonna peel this off, and we're gonna just keep touching this up. It's gonna get uglier, I'm sure, before I'm done here. All right, we're gonna test this again. Yesterday I went through, we welded everything with all hopes this is gonna be good this time around. I didn't test it yet, but anyways, using our foil tape here to seal up. Survey says, hopefully, I can build some actual pressure. I really hope I can build pressure. It's not looking good. What does that mean? Oh. Cool. One great big hole. I can handle that. we can fix this. I guess that blew off right away. Oh, I know what I did. Silly me. I plugged the one that doesn't actually matter. That's okay. All right, try again now. Ugh, really? So I still got a leak there. Clearly that's... there's another one under here too. Golly. Oh, right there. All right. Back to the drawing board. At least I know 3 of them. Get my Sharpie, let's mark them. There's one right there. There's something there, but... where was the other one? Really got to figure this thing out. It's so much easier just to put air pressure into it. Oh, maybe it's just supposed to blow out. That way you wouldn't overpressurize it. Ha! Let's see. Okie doke. We got a plan. I definitely know I'm not using that tool right, but it's making it easier than me pumping a million times. Anywho, this one's just leaking around here. I'm cool with that. We got one leak there. I thought there was one under here, but we'll see. This one's around the liddy part, I think. We'll blow everything off and weld her back up again. Well, after, I don't even know. Well, it hasn't been that long. I think it took me like an hour to get these pinholes. The worst, which looks like hot garbage now, is I don't know how people weld with the rod sticking out of their tungsten like a mile long. Like, I have no idea. I kept having problems in here, and you can even see it's like dirty, but it ain't leaking. So that's all that's important. I had about 1 million little pinholes everywhere, and I just struggled. I just couldn't get them. My goodness. Anyway, it seems good. The only leaks were like where I had the hoses on, like these things. So I couldn't really pump up with the hand thing. I think I realized what this thing is. It just does a vacuum. This thing doesn't actually do pressure. At least I don't think so. Maybe somebody can tell me. I don't think it came... It didn't actually come with instructions, so I don't really know what anything is. But anyways, I was just basically doing my own thing, and yeah, I'm pretty sure it's good. So anyways, that is done. Now, the next step is I'm gonna go search around, find some hoses and things so I can, oh, I maybe didn't explain this. I did this neck. I don't know how to check it. I guess the only thing I can do is we'll just put fluid in it and see if it leaks, but it should be okay. You can see how much dirtier it is. This is like really hard to clean because it's like a cast. You always have problems with it. Anyways, it worked out that this thing, all I had to do was cut the neck off and just twist it at an angle, and it was like perfect. So basically it's just going to sit in there in this place. I'm going to screw it on. It's basically a small shot over to where my rad's going to be, and I think we're good. You got to hook up those few little things, and then technically we can put some coolant in this sucker. We are so close to being able to get, well, I got to do the wiring yet, but we're getting close to the first fire up, that's for sure. Yeah, these are done. Yeah, I pretty much can bolt the rad in and call it a day. It's exciting because this has taken me like all day and a bit to just weld this thing up. My goodness. All right, I gotta get all this tape off because it's a pain in the butt now. Half of it's been cooked on here, and we're gonna bolt that sucker in, and I'm gonna weld some nuts on the back of here just so I don't have to try to weasel my hand in there. We'll be able to just kind of like take the grill shell off, and then bang 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 I can take the rad off if I needed to. Yeah, but I think this stuff, I can splash a little paint on these, and they hopefully don't ever have to come back off, I hope. Well, that was a lot of work. I ended up having to weld and bend up this lower rad spout, but we got that. This is good. It's sitting on here. I'm pretty sure we are going to be in the realm of making a custom hood, because I think somehow there's something weird happening with the grill shell. I think it's because of the way I tighten this. It's causing the grill shell to do something weird. Like, definitely. I don't know what's going on there. I think it's with the bottom when I snugged that in. Huh, weird. I'm gonna loosen these off and just see if everything relaxes a little bit. It just looks like the top of the grill shell is going, doing one of those. Hold on. Well, I loosened everything. It's still doing something weird. I think I'll grab one of my other grill shells and just see what happens. Maybe this thing got bent somehow, and I've been calculating it with the bent red or grill shell. I don't know. Everything looks good, so I'm not sure what's going on, but we'll look at that later. Anyways, like this fits here. It's fit the top just fits everywhere. Hopefully the other shell works out, or I'm just gonna have to add a sliver to everything and just make it work. Not that big of a deal, but hey, look at that. I got the fan. There is very minor breathing room. We got the water neck down there, our vent tube. The only thing we got to do, like I say, are these little vents down here, or these heater hoses, but I think this thing needs water to run through it, so I guess so it doesn't like frost up is my guess. I don't know. I wonder where I would put the air temperature thing. Usually it would grab into there. How's it gonna know how hot it is past there? I don't know. A lot of future thinking here. But I think, yeah, needless to say, I got one thing that I wanted to do started and finished. So rad is done. So I'm happy about that. But on that note, I am thinking that is where we are going to leave this one. I'm thinking, what do I want to do next? I got to work on the clutch. I got my thing for that. I don't know where it is now. But I have a different slave cylinder, so I got to do that one and see if that jives with it. Because this other one, I'm thinking it was bad, a bad master. So somewhere in my world here, I have another one that I'm going to try, which I don't know where it is right now, but rest assured, it's here somewhere. Anyways, I think I got to see to get the clutch going. Still haven't. Actually, some buddies have been by, but I forgot to ask to get them to help me bleed the brakes. But yeah, because I'd like to get that stuff done so I can get these headers on this side and then get the steering all buttoned up so that that's all done. And then, well, we just get one step closer. So I don't know. I know I want to mess around a little bit with the clutch stuff, but we're getting close to actually like wiring the engine. I want to at least get that out of the way so at least we can fire this thing up once and just see how it sounds. That would be pretty awesome. Anyways, like I said, as always, folks, I want to thank you all for watching, and we will catch you on the next one. Later.